So you want to do a safari in the Serengeti, but you don't have much money?
Look no further, we got you covered.
Stay tuned to see how we did the Serengeti for under $150 per person and how you could do it for under $100.
I'm Dominique.
I'm Dale.
And you're watching Now or Never, your favorite channel for all things budget traveling.
Thousands of tourists come to the Serengeti every year, Tanzania's most famous national park.
Most safaris are extremely expensive. We've gotten quotes anywhere from $400 US to $1,000 US per person per day.
Keep in mind that some of this is actually paying for the drive to and from the park. So if you're paying for a 3-day safari, you're usually only getting about 2 days game drives.
And on top of that, the tips are not included. This is how we did our safari for under $150 US. We booked a local bus from Musoma to Arusha. The bus cost $15 US per person. It was approximately 12 hours long and passed through both the Serengeti and the Ngorongoro Park. So you will have to pay both parks fees that amount to about $70 US each.
On our trip, we got to see all the wildlife you would expect to see on a regular safari. We saw a lion in the first 3 or 4 minutes that we got into the park. We saw zebras, wildebeests, ostriches, hyenas, monkeys, giraffes. The only thing I think we didn't see was an elephant and a rhino. We even managed to see hippos and crocodiles as we drove across rivers. So yeah, we pretty much saw everything you could possibly ask. Keep in mind that because you are on the bus is not technically allowed to stop anywhere in the park. So you're not going to have that same safari experience where you want to be able to stop, get close, take pictures of the animals. So that definitely is a downside to it.
I guess another thing to keep in mind is your comfort level. Taking a local bus can be quite the adventure. The bus that we took was overcrowded. We were cramped inside. It was hot. And with that comes noise and just discomfort. If you do opt for a typical safari truck, you would have more space, which would make for a much more comfortable experience.
So now to talk about how you could do it for under $100. This was an idea that we thought of after we actually did our trip. So basically, the local bus enters the Serengeti National Park through the Ikoma gate, and then you go through the park until you hit Nabi Gate as an exit. What you could do if you only want to pay one of the park fees, because we didn't really get to see much in the Ngorongoro side of things. If you want to book the bus from Musoma all the way to Arusha, pay your $15, pay your entrance park fees for the Serengeti, which is another $70 US. You could actually take the bus all the way over through the Serengeti to Nabi Gate. And at Nabi Gate is when we actually stop the bus and you get off to go and pay your park fees to get into Ngorongoro. If you want it, you could stop at Nabi Gate, and instead of continuing with the bus, you just get off the bus and wait for another bus coming in the opposite direction and catch that all the way back to Musoma. That way you actually get to spend the full day in the Serengeti National Park, and you'll only have to pay $15 for your bus to get there, $70 for your park fee, and then another $15 perhaps to take the bus back to Musoma.
So basically, you get a full day of safari on a bus for $100 US. And on top of it, you get to see twice as much of the wildlife as you would if you were taking it one way.
So you might be taking a little bit of a chance on waiting for a bus to come the opposite direction, but there did seem to be a fair amount of traffic while we were there, both buses and also safari jeeps.
Keep in mind the bus seats may be taken on the way back.
You may need to wait for a couple of buses to come through before you find one that has empty seats.
Tip number 1, make sure you book a window seat. Whether you're traveling solo, as a couple, or with a group, you want to each have a window seat.
Tip number 2, make sure you bring lots of batteries for your camera, as there are no USB ports on the bus.
Tip number 3, make sure to bring lots of snacks with you because they can be pretty expensive along the way.
And that's how you can do a safari in the Serengeti for under $100. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please subscribe, like, and check out some of our other travel videos.